Good evening. Welcome to the October 19th board meeting of the Oakwood Unit 76 Board of Education. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:41 p.m. Roll call, please.
Bradford, yes.
Yes.
Janeski, Lynn, Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner.
Here.
Smith.
Here. Please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't believe we have any public participation or guests tonight. So, agenda item number 3, consent agenda. I hope everybody had a chance to review the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Hicks to approve the consent agenda items as submitted. Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 1.
Agenda item 4, FOIA requests. We've had none. Agenda item 5, OEA.
I do have a report. I don't really have a report. I have a statement. The executive board met today and we just kind of brainstormed some ideas because we know we're all facing some hardships right now and trying to figure out different things for subs or that people could do. We obviously didn't really come up with a whole lot of answers, but we did try and we're trying to get some things together. And I think we're going to probably bring something to you guys eventually on that. But we are working on it and just trying to say what would work here, what would work here, how could it be different at the high school, junior high versus grade school. So we did some brainstorming.
Work in progress then. Thank you. It's something we need to work on. Agenda item 6, board committee reports. I don't believe we had any committees that met this month, right, Mr. Mayor?
No, sir.
Perfect. Agenda item 7, administrative reports. Ms. Kimbrough.
That was fast. All right. Probably the most time-consuming thing this month is the English. We had an English teacher who left right in the middle of the quarter, and so I've been doing all the lesson planning, the grading, the communication, the parent, the report cards, the everything that kind of goes with it, and so this curriculum coordinator thing is kind of taking a back seat to that. We'll behind in it, everything, but report cards were posted yesterday and I get through parent teacher conferences. Then in case any parent has, we do have Anthony, our new band teacher's sister, is going to be our full-time sub in there. So she's been consistent for about the last 2.5 weeks, and I've given her lesson plans for everything. And she does a really great job with it, and the kids really like her. And so we are transitioning into her taking over and doing the planning. So we've already met several times about what she's going to do. I planned all this week, grade this week, and give her time to get her units together. I've given her a lot of resources, and I think it'll be a great transition for that. So I don't have any worries, and I think that we will be good. I actually think that we'll be better than we were at the start of the school year, to be quite honest, after kind of seeing what was going on in there. So I felt, like I said, pretty good about the transition, and I'm ready to transition. So that's all mine.
Any question, Ms. Kimbrough? Thank you. And for those of us who aren't here tonight and maybe listening, though, some of the administrators are out in their buildings with parent-teacher conferences tonight, so we'll have a few that are just our reports we have. Mr. Odell's not here. Mr. Shelton.
Yeah, so you have my report was presented. I want to kind of hit a couple highlights. So cross country, they are preparing for regionals at Christmas this Saturday. They've got at 10 o'clock at Christmas. So, but some highlights, Macy Russell has not only for the girls side of things, she won the Oakwood invite, and then also the DC meet. And not only did she win those, it's the second year in a row that she's won both. And so we have a super fantastic runner on our team and should be recognized for that. She's doing a great job. And not only that, but we had some kids, KOT's on, and Bryson Kapansky also were all BBC at the BBC meet as well. So huge shout out to them and good luck to them in the regional coming up this weekend. Football got a huge win this past weekend against Georgetown Rich Farm, and that was their third win of the season. And So a couple things with them. They have senior day coming up this Saturday. It's the final football game of the year. We're going to recognize the football players. We're going to recognize cheerleaders and also the band members, seniors, that is, before the game. So encourage all you guys to come out and support them and for their final game of the year. With some things with football as well, with the locker room and some other things. I wanted to send a huge shout out to Matt Griffiths, who's done some more work in the football locker room, electrical stuff as well. And we have some more dusted on lights and some ceiling fans that still need to be installed. And hopefully when he gets a free moment, he's going to donate his time again to come and do that as well. So huge shout out to him with that. And then also huge shout out to Ms. Hicks and Doug Campatoni, who came and moved the storage container that was at Muncie at the softball field to OHS next to the football locker room. So our football team can have more storage there that's ground level for them to be able to get to. So huge shout out. So thank you very much, Ms. Hicks, and thank you, Doug Campatoni, too, and your brother as well. Thank you. So golf season has wrapped up. Their season is now completed, but we did have a successful year. We won more matches than we did last year. We had Case Copaz, who was a sectional qualifier and had a great season. So good job to the golf team. And soccer, we'll talk about soccer for a second. Soccer finished 20-5 on the year and 12-0 in the BBC. That's a program record for wins. That's an amazing year. Matter of fact, tonight they are being recognized by the Salt Fork School Board for their accomplishments. And so I was going to ask the board tonight that hopefully in November we can do the same thing as well and recognize them here in Oakwood as well. So get your guys' feedback on that later. But anyhow, a lot of it, and I'll go into more of that in November, but so many records were broken and shattered. And I think that we are now well cemented as one of the best soccer teams in Central Illinois. So super proud of it, of Coach Fenton and the OSF soccer team. So really great year. And then with volleyball, it had a huge win last night on senior night. Marie Adams was our lone senior, and we honored her and beat Schlarman last night. So they play Rantoul tomorrow to be their last final regular season game, and then they go to regionals next Monday. So they're playing at Bismarck against Houston. Hopefully they'll get that win, play St. Joe in the next round. So they're wrapping their season up as well. Couple upcoming things that you guys probably should highlights here. We're having we're right around the corner, so we're wrapping fall up. So we're getting ready to start winter. So the girls, believe it or not, they start on Halloween on October 31st. So girls basketball is right around the corner. So 12 days, I think, is what it is until they start their first practice. And then a week later, the OSF wrestling team, the boys basketball team, and cheer, they start their competitive season as well. So we're right around the corner from winter sports. So we also have winter sports pictures set up for the 11th. So those are going to be happening too on our day off on Veterans Day. So, and then 19th and 25th, we got the Comet Classic. We're hosting that again this year. And so we're excited to host that. So that's upcoming as well. I will tell the board as well, I've been working on some soccer scoreboard quotes. And I'm not quite ready to present that. Hopefully I will present that to you guys in November. I do have quotes on brand new boards, new trusses, installation, and all that, but there's still some more rendering I'd like to get to make sure that I have a clearer picture for you guys as well, what that would look like financially, and then also physically what it would look like and where it might go. So hopefully I'll be able to present that to you guys next month. So yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Any additional questions for Mr. Sullivan? Ms. Burton, Ms. LaPennis, and Ms. Acton are in their buildings. Technology, Mr. Richardson.
I really didn't have too much to add to my report. The biggest thing I wanted to highlight is as we were working with David Lewis with the anti-bullying, I delved a little deeper into Go Guardian, and I was able to set up alerts based on certain specific search terms, self-harm, bullying, whatnot, and that if the student would actually input those terms into anything on their Chromebook, it will screenshot it and send me an email if it deems it as hitting, I guess, the benchmark of where we set it as. So say a student says, somewhere types an email, go kill yourself. This is a specific example for self-harm or whatnot. they'll screenshot it, send me an email, and then I can double check it, make sure it's appropriate, and then forward it on to the principal. I've already had a couple of those come up, they work, so I know the system's working, and I send it immediately to the principal, and they've taken care of the issues, so that's a really nice tool I found, I didn't realize we had. So, hoping moving forward, that'll help with any issues that may arise, and that's just another layer of protection that we have.
Sir, is that on an internet search or anytime they type it in, even an email or something like that?
You know, anything, the Go Guardian, it is, honestly, it is spyware. It's
It
what
is.
it does, but it is required that we have monitoring software. So anything the student does on the Chromebook while they're logged into, our school account is monitored by Go Guardian and can be, screenshotted, and honestly, it shows their entire history. I can see where they've gone the entire time they're logged in. And our Chromebooks are set up that you can only log in on our, Oakwood 76.org account.
Right.
Too.
Yeah, you can grab somebody's
You can
nearby.
have just a random Gmail account. and log into it.
Is that some sort of notification that after school hours, you're still getting?
Yep, I
It's
will
on
immediately,
your-
yep, yeah, I always get the email, it comes in on
On
my
your
phone,
phone.
so I can check it and forward it on immediately.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Ms. Lunt?
The only thing I really got to add to my report, I did get the final numbers on our bus quotes in this morning for our new lease for next year, and I did get those to Mr. Maynard. I'm definitely thinking, looking over things, the 4-year lease, we've always done 2. The 4-year lease is definitely gonna be a lot better. It's about $100,000 difference in the payment price between the 2 and 4-year lease. So, like I told Mr. Maynard, the only issues we've had a lot more issues with the buses the past 2 years, but they've all been warranty issues. They came out, they fixed them. Right now, they're not charging us. They're coming up, picking the buses and taking them back to shop. They're not charging us for that with the issues we're having. And Midwest, I know they went through kind of a rough period there, but things are really working out. Things are going really good. Maintenance wise right now with the buses, which is our 4th year with the ones we have now. So I think that 4-year lease on us for the buses will be the best.
Questions from Mr. Lunt? Thank you. Mr. Siddons?
Things have fell down a little bit, directions kind of calmed down. There's still several items that, Amoresco and Ross are still working on. We've still got some fire devices. They're coming in tomorrow, try to finish it up. All the windows are in now, so the building's getting secured. Johnson Control got with me, and they're hoping by the end of next week, maybe to finish theirs, but that's no guarantee. It depends on the workload they got. So for the most part, started working, getting cabinetry in the science labs, hopefully. By the end of the week, all the cabinets be in. Nate's gonna come in tomorrow, hook the water up in the one that his daughter's getting ready this weekend, so he's hoping next week he'll come in and finish that up. So, wrapping that up, a few little items, small items finished in there. Just a lot of little things to get caught up and finished up, a lot of stuff, little things hanging out there, so. We're just gonna take a little bit of time and finish her up.
We're still waiting on doors.
We have all of our doors in.
Yeah, all the doors.
We've got all the windows and glass
All the
in now.
doors and windows are in,
Did we take the other ones back up to the junior high and put them back on?
yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Only thing we have with that, Mr. Plattner, is that we don't have the door locks.
We don't have the locks and hardware hooked up, so when the ROE report came through, since we use it with kids still, even in the gym and not using anything else, we still gotta have all the hardware and everything gotta be hooked up, so. Down the road, Mr. Maynard and I said we sit down and start talking how we wanna approach that. We did have our ROE report, and they came back really good, except for, the minor things. Some of the stuff we didn't know how it was gonna work up there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just things we're gonna have to look at.
So which building are you talking about that doesn't have the hardware?
The junior high up
The
north.
Newtown.
The north building.
Yes, everything. is
Our
good.
doors at the new junior high can be secure.
Yes,
Okay, I was confused.
yes, sorry about that.
Okay, nice.
But the ROE reports are really good on all the other two, the other two buildings, so we're in pretty good shape with fire marshal and the ROE, so we did get some good reports, which was good.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. Mr. Maynard.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Want to just kind of point out a few things just for clarification. With the, you probably noticed in the consent agenda that the activity and interest funds, as mentioned in the prior month, was going to be for August and September, because we've been in this process of cleaning up the activity accounts. So we have the activity accounts and convenience accounts, which better defines that for us, and obviously something the auditors recommend as well. So all those have been cleaned up and we're in good shape and balanced and ready to go, but now we're working on the junior high. So the junior high will have a few more documents this next month that we'll get to. It just takes a long time, you know, in midstream to make sure we get everything accounted for, so to speak, and lined up and balanced well. So you'll have some more of that next month in regards to junior high. Also wanted to mention a few things. We've got Principal Appreciation Month in October. It's a very important month. The Illinois Principals Association and also the Illinois Association of School Administrators, as well as the Illinois Association of School Boards, just all being very supportive and appreciative of our principals. Technically, Principal Appreciation Day is scheduled for Friday. We're not in school, so we've been kind of celebrating all week, and I had an opportunity to get out to the buildings early Monday morning, but it's kind of hard to beat them to their offices. But I was able to get in and sneak a little something in their office. Some caught me in the act, but just to say we appreciate our principals very much. Parent-teacher conference tomorrow night, as you mentioned, which means staying late. These 2 nights means we'll not have school on Friday, so that we can secure and serve our parents and communicate with them. Anticipate the usual annual financial report from our auditor to be coming in November. Typically when we get that, I did file for an extension, so we have no issues meeting our deadlines for the state as usual. And we're making an Amoresco payment here this month. We have almost $800,000. We're right about $5 million that we've paid so far. So we've still got some money in our accounts. We're in a good place there and keeping track of payments and duties and things that need to be secured there. The safety drills, this has been a big year for safety. We have been really focusing on that, especially having not been in school as much the past 2 years and having a lot of new personnel. We just really want to make sure that we're high and tight in our procedures and then run a lot of drills. We've been running a lot of drills, some planned, some unplanned, and just to see how we're doing, how we're functioning, and then to assess, you know, where we need to tighten things up a little bit or make some adjustments. So those kinds of drills, obviously, are the normal ones with your fire and shelter in place and those kinds of things. But you know that we've already activated a reunification drill, which I was extremely impressed, and I mentioned that before, our building staff and our students. We've also had cyberbullying training this past week from a national, he's at least national provider, Detective Wystocki. And he's out of Naperville and just really enlightened us on a lot of things to be aware of. I'm actually talking to Ms. Kimbrough to see if we can't secure some grant money to have him come back and have an evening presentation for our parents, because the things that we are learning there that are current with cyberbullying and how students, even younger, like ages like 9 and 10, can get pulled into some bad areas with technology, you know, when they're home and things like that. Provide some resources for our parents so that they can have an opportunity to learn some of this. I just think it would be helpful. So we're working on that. We've also had, Chris mentioned some things with the Go Guardian app, which is huge, that he learned about. That's another layer of protection. And then I'm also, as you heard before, working with Mr. Lewis and some parents, our principals, on an anti-bullying campaign. We're slow rolling this to make sure we've got things the way that we want, but it'll come right alongside things that Chris mentioned And it's going to be as simple as the Chromebooks that we have. There will be a link where students could report something, a bullying, harassment type situation through technology. Would get right to us to get to the principals. It will go to me. It would go to the principals. So we're defining all those filters. And then we're also working on a QR code. So that way students could just, they're in the bathroom or something, they would be able to scan a QR code, which would get them to the form. So we're trying to make it as simple and as easy as we can to get things reported so that we can be proactive and not always responsive. So it's an area of detection. David Lewis has been extremely helpful, he and Chris, in setting up these things for us and what they're designing. And our hope is that as Oakwood gets started with this, it will provide us with some data. So at the end of this year, I would be able to share with you some data related to what we've learned this first year. And then our hopes beyond that is that as we develop this, that it would even maybe be something that would move throughout the county from the other schools. So we've got big ideas for this to try to help our kids. A lot going on there. Any questions on any of that so far? That's a pretty important topic. Okay. Some other things to mention for you moving forward is that the Illinois report cards will be coming out for the first time since 2019. And those will be released on October the 27th. That's when it will go public. So I have seen some preliminaries. I don't know anything in detail yet. We're kind of under an order to not say anything until it gets released. But I guess the things that we know is that there's no secret of the learning loss that had to have taken place, during those 2 years. So they skipped, report card for a couple years. Now we're coming back, and what we're going to see is that I think schools in Illinois is that even with the loss, we're going to see some pretty rapid growth beyond maybe what was expected, for kids in Illinois. We'll see, but that's what I'm looking at. So just a little information there. They're going to have, for the first time since 2019, Illinois schools will be rated once again as required by federal law using 4 possible designations. They are exemplary, which recognizes the highest performing 10% of schools in Illinois. Comprehensive, which identifies the lowest performing 5% of schools. Targeted, which identifies those schools where overall performance is above the lowest performing 5% of schools, but have 1 or more student groups whose performance is on par with the lowest performing 5% of schools. A commendable designation for all other schools. So the bottom line is when you hit that lowest category with targeted things, you are automatically folded into a required school improvement plan. And so we have been commendable, which is, at the second highest level that we can be. We've been there for a long time. So I'll be anxious to see kind of where we mark out. And then based on that, we'll determine, the future course that we need to be on for our kids at Oakwood. But I just want to make you aware that will be coming. And I'm sure the newspapers will get a hold of that and do a lot of the work that they do with such matters. Also want to mention informationally, you saw the cash flow sheet in your report. In general, I would just say that the money of revenues and expenditures our revenues are higher than expenditures, and we're doing across the board. The one thing that I noticed this past month is that I'd like to see a little bit more revenue with transportation. So hopefully we'll get a payment there. But overall, we're on track at the end of this first quarter financially, and I'm happy to see where things are at. Some of the big payments that you have coming up, obviously in December, will be bond related. So we'll have a big, I think it's a little over $500,000 we'll be paying for a payment here coming up in December, which is routine. And I'm going to talk about the tentative tax levy here in a minute. I also want to just mention that the high school principal position, we've been in interviews with that, and we'll be needing to schedule posting for a meeting coming up here to have a special board meeting so that we can do the interviews for that, which looks like Tuesday, October the 25th at 5:30 here. So we'll go into a session of close there where we can do an interview with the candidate that the interview committee is bringing forth to the board for consideration. So the purpose of that is so that the board is aware of where we're at with the high school principal position. And I would just say that that position, there are about 6 schools in the area, 6 districts that are looking for a high school principal. So the well of applicants at every level, I mean, you see it in any market and anywhere, the labor opportunities, people that you have available are just not there. And I've never seen it in all my years as intense as it is right now. And so for high school principals, I'm talking to other superintendents that are in the same situation, and they're talking about, a handful of applicants. So there's a lot of competition out there. So we are working that competition. We want to do our best to secure the best principal we can get for our kids and families at Oakwood High School. And so that's kind of where we're at on that. As far as a guidance counselor position, we don't have any applicants at this point. And that's a hard one for everybody. I've talked to some districts that lost a guidance counselor right before the start of the school year. And so what's happening is school districts are having to work with their ROEs to meet state requirements to get creative with that position to try to get someone who you think has the skill set that can do at least the majority of that type of work, scheduling and an understanding of IEPs and 504s and those types of things with scheduling. But at the same time, to do some of those things without a license, if you have to adapt that title, you're looking at things like student support services, titles of that nature. And all of that takes a working and flexibility, but yet still meeting the requirements for the state, working with the ROEs. So we're going to have to make a decision, I think, in January about what we're going to do. My hope is that we secure a high school principal here in November, so we can secure that, lock that down, and utilize that new person to see what networking they may have, as well. They're just not out there. People licensed in that area are not there, but we're working on it. A lot of conversations taking place here. Obviously, talking to Don Lee and different ones, Shell and so forth. So I just want you to know it's a challenge right now, but we've faced a lot of challenges, and we always seem to come through with finding the best solution we can, here for our kids and our families and our school. So I just want to be very transparent about where some things are at there right now. We also have, you saw in your packet, a Village of 50 agreement for use of Brentlinger Park. We had to use that. So I wanted to make you aware of that. I have looked through that agreement. I'm assuming that some of you maybe have as well. And I've run that through a conversation with our district attorney. And my recommendation is that we would not take action on that agreement tonight. There are some things that need to be looked at that I can share with you later, and maybe rewrite this agreement and give me an opportunity on behalf of our school district to present it back to the mayor of 50 so that we can secure this. But we just want to make sure that language is so important. We want to make sure it's in a good place for our school district as well. So a little bit of information about that. So with that being said, if it's okay, you have a summary sheet, the tentative tax levy that I've laid there before you. In your board packet, you have basically you've got the recipe about how the dessert is made. You've got all the details of all the numbers and everything on the spreadsheet. What I like to do, I do it 2 or 3 different ways, just to double check my numbers and make sure things are coming out right. So if it's okay, I'll just take a moment to just quickly highlight. This is a summary sheet, kind of called the one-page wonder that kind of goes through things, and I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have. So this is a key year. I've been talking about this for several years, and I've been on the conversations of emails with Matt Long, our assessor, kind of see where our EAV is looking, talk about the TIF that expired last December. And I've also been in communication again with the Mid County Clerk, Chief Deputy Clerk, Robert Hefford. So just clarifying things, making sure that what I'm seeing is what is accurate, what they have with their records. So all that to say here, make sure I'm hooked up and ready to go. This is our tax levy year. This is a tentative here. So we're going to be setting up a hearing in November versus December. That gives us a little bit more time. And then we'll not only do our hearing, but we'll also have a regular board meeting right after that to adopt the tax levy as an action item. So that being said, this just kind of explains how this works as far as the 2021 tax year. And then this is a levy we're doing here in December, and then this is what is collected 23-24 school year. We usually get our payments July, September, and November. So this is the estimated total EAV for 2022 right here, okay? And as you can see, that's quite a bit more. You know, you're about 5 million, 5.5 million more than the previous year. Now, again, these are all estimates. That's all we will have, because you don't get your actual numbers till after the first of the year. But you have to anticipate you never get more than what you ask for, and you never get more than what you're allowed to have. The only mistake that school districts can make in the levying process, really, not the only mistake, but the biggest mistake is not capturing what is allowable for you as a school district, okay? So, as you can see, that's a considerable amount of change from the previous year. So the anticipation for the EAV change for 2002, usually it's running around 3%. So I'm predicting 2.2% right now, because we're going to have a lot more EAV than we normally have in this area right here related to the TIF. And usually that's going to be any new property, new buildings, and things like that. But we've got a unique situation with the TIF rolling on that's projected to be around 2.4 million. So we're throwing in a number between that and some other potential new property of being about 3.4. Okay. So then with that being, our estimated total change from the prior year is 5.75%. Okay. So that's all in terms of EAV. And why is this important? Okay. It's important because as your EAV goes up, okay, that allows you to keep your tax rate from going up. You have more money to capture, tax rate can stay down, and then you can make your adjustments to say basically, what is it that we're going to need to cover ourselves from a budget standpoint? My philosophy has been and will continue to be that when you're doing a levy, you want to make sure that you're asking for what you need. Okay, you've got to cover yourself with your expenditures, but you don't want to in any way exceed that to a point where it's beyond really what you should be asking. Okay, we're just in a unique situation with TIF, and we don't want to make a mistake and not capture that. So that's what we have there. That's what's a little bit unique this year. I've double checked it. I also work with what's called PMA Financial out of Naperville. They do the forecasting and all that, which I think Oakwood probably has experience in the past. You pay them some money, they do a lot of pretty things with some spreadsheets. So you don't get all that with me. You just get a basic spreadsheet. Okay. But anyway, that's who I work with. They double check things to make sure I'm seeing things right. So I run it through a lot of grids to make sure that, you know, we're in a good place with what we're doing. Let me get to this here. I'll give you a chance to ask some questions here at the end if you have some. So as we move down here, excuse me. All right, so some things to point out here. These are our funds over here, obviously. These are the statutory maximum tax rates. Okay, sometimes there's a misconception that you can set a rate whatever you want it to be. You can't. This is statutory. They tell us what the rate is. The state does. Okay, so I just simply plug those numbers in for each of the funds. Now, there's two areas that are different: your IMRF, your FICA Social Security, and your tort. Okay, those are three areas, and the reason they're highlighted in red, those are areas where basically you get asked what you need to cover yourself. Okay, and whatever you ask for there, that's what you get. But you better be able to justify why you're asking. That's why sometimes this is our IMRF for our pension fund, for our non-certs, basically. FICA Social Security also folds into that. So what we do is we take a look at those two things, find out what our costs are going to be. We make projections based on salary increases in the collective bargaining agreement that we have. And we basically try to make sure that we are covering ourselves and asking for what we need to pay those bills for our people. Along with that, you've noticed the last few years, I also try to make sure that we try to keep, the idea is always keep about $200,000 in your fund balance as you start the year. You don't want that to get up too high, because then basically you'll have to do a reduction. your following year to maintain that. So that's our goal there. With tort immunity, that's basically all your liability, your workman's comp, situations that you can help with our risk management plan that we utilize that to pay for partial of our salaries for principals that are at risk with supervision and different things that they do. So we fold a lot of things into there, and basically we're just asking for what we need. And you can see as you move across here, I can show you that this is the difference based on the extension, meaning, the levy is what we're asking for. The extension is what we actually get, what we receive. And you can see the difference between what we actually got compared to what we're asking for here. And then I'm showing the difference from each of the funds, okay? Percent increase or decrease. So you can see here, tentatively, for the ed fund, about another 150,000, 149. And then for O&M, another 35,000. And again, those tax rates are set, so there's nothing you can do different with that. You can see here, we were extended 172. We're looking at the same here for this upcoming year. The reason we can do that is because of where our fund balance is at, okay? Same thing here for our life and social security. You can see that it was extended to 207. It's actually $4 less coming in the next year. Again, that's because of where our fund balance is. Okay, so we try to maintain that. And then as you look at transportation, you can see what was extended. It's a little bit more, another 12,000, 11,881 here. You can see the working cash, about where that is. It was 47, now it's at 50. And I like to show this summary sheet because it helps me to see how things are comparing from year to year. I think it's good for the public to see, that we're being responsible with what we're doing as we maintain our balanced budgets. Special education, you can see there almost 3,000 increase. You can see with also with tort immunity, it's about $5,100 difference. Okay, so we're still able to do the things we did, and really that was based on the School Guard app that we purchased this year. That was right at 5,000. Okay, for all of us. As far as the leasing goes, that's basically related to technology. You can see we're right there. So everything is, I think, as I work through this for you, gives you hopefully a good understanding of why we're asking for what we need. And I think we all know the factors that we have for purchase services. CPI is over 7% right now. Been running 2.2 as an average. So I mean, everything that we're paying for is costing us a little bit more. So we're still running tight on things, but we're also not overreaching. So the things that we have to look at here moving forward is that what I look at when we do all of this, you have a total aggregate for your levy, which is everything except for your bond and interest. You don't have to count your bond and interest with that to determine what's my number going to be. If we're over 5%, that's when you have to do truth in taxation. Okay, so right now we're sitting right at 4.9. Okay, as far as a estimated increase. And again, all of this was factored in based on the TIF. You can see where the tax rate was for operating. Okay, we're looking at the same thing. We're at 4.42. It's like 4.46. So it's basically the same operating tax rate. So it's good when you're doing your levies for school districts, I think, that you're not bouncing around. 1 year it's really low, 1 year it's high. I think you try to be as consistent in managing things as you can for your public. So that gives you an idea, of how things are looking moving forward. So all that to say in general is that we're not looking at a truth in taxation. We feel like we could still capture all that we're going to need to capture with our estimates. And I think we're being fiscally responsible, moving forward. So I anticipate that you'll see something very similar next month, and I'll point out any changes next month. But I think it's just kind of good to know. And if you have any questions about the different funds and what can be used and that type of thing, be sure to let me know. And I'll be happy to get those questions for you in advance. But I also keep track of historical data. I started this when I got here a few years ago. I just kind of wanted to go back and just kind of see where things are at, where things are running as far as percentages and tax rates. And so you can see our operating tax rate has stayed basically the same. So we have an opportunity, here to secure a little bit money that, with the TIF, it's a situation, and I don't want to over talk it here, but it's good for the public to know that, I mean, those TIFs, our village, in my opinion, were very responsible in what they did with the TIFs over the years, because the whole idea for a TIF basically is to take your communities and rebuild and repair your infrastructure. You're basically saying the school district's not going to get a portion of this money. It's going to come to the village, because we're going to basically take that, rebuild our infrastructure, and anything else we can do economically to help build up your EAD, which benefits the whole pie. Okay. And then after a point, then that money then usually after 20 to 25 years goes back to your school district. So as a school district, you pay a price because you're not getting money that's allowed to you. But if your village, which in Oakwood's case did, as we can see what they intended to do, we have all benefited from that in terms of EAV. You can see that over the years. And so now, as that's coming off, now they did extend it, I think in 2012, if I remember right, and you get one time to extend a TIF. Okay, so that's why it expired last December. So anyway, a lot of communication. It's an important time of year. We just finished our budget, and I wanted you to have a chance to kind of see what things are looking like right now in case you have any questions. And then I can be prepared to help us with that this next year. So I will stop talking and see if you all have any questions for me based on the tentative tax levy for 2022.
I have questions. I'll just make a comment. Your fellow board members, you recall last year, there's a little bit of hubbub about this, the truth in taxation and the tax levy. And I told the members of the audience at the time last year that the number of dollars that we're going to levy is going to go up. The percentage at which we levy is not going to go up. And if you look at the three categories where we could have raped and pillaged, we didn't. Don't put that in. Where we could have taken advantage of the system and we're allowed to levy as much as we want, we didn't. We stayed within less than 10%. So yeah, the dollars are going up. The percentage of dollars that we're able to levy is going up, but the percentage at which we're levying is not. The pizza just got bigger, right? So if you get attacked by someone in the community that says, "Hey man, you guys are raising taxes by $217,000," no. Our share of what we are allocated went up because the whole pie went up. So I just wanted you guys to keep that in mind. I don't want anyone to get blindsided by that, because you've done an excellent job at keeping it 4.968. And it keeps us out of hot water. So thank you.
Well, thanks for that extra input. That was good. I think that's all I have. It's my report, unless you have any other questions.
Other questions for me? Okay. Agenda item number 8, old business. I don't believe we have any other old business to discuss. Agenda item 9, I do need a motion to go into executive closed session for the purpose of the employment of an individual. I need a motion to go into closed session at 6:24 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Hicks to enter closed session at 6:24 p.m. Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yeah.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote.
I feel
Okay.
like any losses.
Do I have a motion to re-enter open session at 7:21 PM? Agenda item 10, consideration action. 10A, we have a routine mention, recommendation to approve the Regional Office of Education number 54 annual agreement invoice regarding the Drug Awareness and Resistance Education Program there for $2,120. We have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Plattner to approve the Regional Office Education DARE agreement as presented, DARE annual agreement as presented. Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote for.
10B, we have a Village of Fithian field usage agreement. We have a recommendation to approve the agreement as presented. Can I get a motion to table the motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion on tabling agenda item 10B? Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Ludwig to approve to table.
Okay, sorry, thank you. I would approve.
Yeah.
Sorry.
To table the Fithian agreement for this evening. Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote 5.
Agenda item 10C, have a recommendation to approve the school maintenance project grant application for the fiscal year 23, amount of $50,000 and a matching $50,000 as designated for the repair of the Oakwood High School gym floor.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Hicks to approve the school maintenance project grant as presented. Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote 6.
Agenda item 10D, we have a recommendation to employ Angela Napolitano. I messed this up a few months ago, as a long-term substitute teacher for high school English at a pay rate of $197.30 per day.
We'll defer to
This is a vacancy.
Yes.
Say yes.
Yes.
No, she's doing a good job, and she's been with us for 2.5 weeks, and this is our transition week, and then she will pick up with the planning and everything that goes along with it. Also, I did not, and I wanted to say something. John Odell was a huge help. With Katie Waters when she left, our English teacher, there was a lot of grading to do that Katie didn't, and I just want to say that Zeta Bryant, which is our new special ed teacher who co-taught, she helped with the class grade for the things that she co-taught. John graded a lot with help too. So I just wanted to shout out to them, and I felt bad because I didn't mention my reports, but please hire Angela.
Do you have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented?
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Hicks to approve the employment of Angela Palatino as presented. Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote 7.
We have a recommendation to approve Colton Carr as volunteer assistant coach for high school baseball.
Yeah, so Colton comes recommended highly by Mr. Head Coach Farland. He's a SJO product. He played there and also went on to play at Kankakee. He's a member of the 2017 NJCAA World Series champions. Pitched there and then went on and pitched at State Ambrose as well in Davenport, Iowa. And so he's now living here in Oakwood, and he has a kinesiology degree as well. And he's so possible there. So anyway, we definitely want him to be involved there, and he wants to work with our pitchers during the spring. So yeah.
A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Ludwig to approve the volunteer Colton Carr as presented. Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 8.
We have a recommendation, agenda item 10F. We have a recommendation to approve Eric Fenton as volunteer assistant coach for high school girls basketball.
Yeah, so, Mr. Fenton, you guys know really well, he's not building in record-breaking soccer team right now too. And,
Right.
and he also has coached junior high boys basketball as well in the past. So, I know that, Coach Marshall actually loved more help, more eyes on the girls. So, yeah. Thank you.
A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
By Ludwig, seconded by Plattner, to approve volunteer Eric Fenton as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 9.
Agenda item 10G, we have a recommendation to approve Brendan Watson as volunteer assistant coach for high school wrestling.
So Brendan, he is a great addition to OHS. He is an Oakwood grad and he's on the wall of fame. So, and actually I know that Coach Glasser is fired up to get someone like him in the program to help out with the wrestling program. But I'll just say this about Brendan. He has a great rapport with the kids. And I know Coach McFarland, he was trying to recruit him to help out with the catchers in the spring too. So everybody kind of wants Mr. Watson on board with whatever they're doing. Great guy.
A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Ludwig, to approve the volunteer Brendan Watson as presented. Ludwig. Yes. Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 10.
Agenda item 10H, we have a recommendation to employ Christina Phillips for the position of elementary special education teacher for the 22-23 school year to start on October 31st, 2022. Christina will start at step 2 on the bachelor scale. We have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Now, this is a position as we're very fortunate to have, to get a special ed teacher. Basically, it's K2, just so you know. The interesting thing, obviously, when you hire someone right now, that means they're leaving the job to come to yours. So it's always a little tricky, but we need that teacher, and I know that our principals are very excited about having this individual working with our kids and strengthening their special ed department. So we're fortunate.
Do we have a motion by Mr. Plattner?
Mhm.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Hicks, to approve the employment of Christina Phelps as presented. Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote 11.
Agenda item 10I, we have a recommendation of a transfer of position for Dusty Gokin from long-term special education substitute to district full-time substitute. The transfer position will take place on October 31st. Dusty's pay would follow the district plan for full-time substitute at a pay rate of $125 per day with benefits.
So Dusty Gokin was in the position as a longtime served for special ed. We just hired a special ed teacher right prior to this. So now we want to secure Dusty in another position to transfer her in the district. She's been a great employee for us and it's helped us in a lot of ways. So that we were able to retain her through the transfer.
A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Plattner, to approve the position transfer for Dusty Gokin as presented. Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 12.
Agenda item 10J, we have a recommendation to approve Josh Hunsberger as a volunteer assistant boys junior high basketball coach for the 22-23 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Plattner, to approve volunteer Josh Hunsberger as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Ludwig. Yes. Plattner,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 13.
Agenda item 11, new business. I do not believe we have any additional new business for discussion. Agenda item 12, adjournment. Our next regular board meeting will be Wednesday, November 16th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. For immediately receiving that, we have a public hearing on tax levy scheduled for Wednesday, November 16th at 5:15 p.m. As another special meeting, we will have that on Tuesday, October 25th at 5:30 PM. We have a motion to adjourn at 7:31 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Hicks, to adjourn at 7:31 PM. Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote. And then my